activist. He brings a conservative point of view to black issues. His mission: to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermaine Buxio.
Hello. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, Jermaine Buxio. On today's show, I got the man known as Liberty Logan from Major League Liberty. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great, man. Thank you for having me back on. Can't wait to get into it.
Absolutely. I'm trying to get Facebook up. Facebook is acting silly here. Give me like 30 seconds here, and we'll get this feed on here. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys do us a favor. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I don't know what. Here we go. I got the Facebook up here right now. It should be clicking on.
Yeah, they throw all that new stuff at you, too. I did a show last week, and there was a whole bunch of new stuff I had to go through just to get it up.
I mean, through the yin-yang, they're always changing this crap.
Yep.
All right, so we are live on Facebook. Hopefully, everybody can see it here. Let me make sure that, yep, it looked like we are good. Looks like it. All right, perfect. So, man, oh man, happy Friday to everybody. Happy Friday. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Crazy week all the way around. Let me tell you something. You can see across the pond, a lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are stranded. Screw what the Biden administration is saying. You know, Liberty Logan, you can see how the communist administration is working in full effect right now. They lie straight through their teeth, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. It's insane, man. It's essentially Goebbels-esque propaganda day after day after day. And you can tell that they're getting worried about it, too, because they just keep coming up with the worst excuses for the worst things possible. Jen Psaki is sweating constantly during her press conferences. And, I mean, Joe Biden's just abysmal speech was, I mean, it's unbelievable that this works on people, but it really does, and that's a sad thing.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. A lot of folks out there, let me tell you something, they're not believing what he's saying at all, and it's showing through his approval rating. It's in the dumps right now. I mean, he's the worst president of them all in the whole wide world of history of presidents. Joe Biden has, really taken the cake, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's really, really bad right now. So we're going to get into a lot. Larry Elder's, ex-fiance, she doubled down now. She went in, put in a new filing for police report. She is saying that, she wants everybody and their mama's mama to know that Larry Elder, he's an abuser. I'm wondering, what can Larry Elder throw on her? I'm pretty sure she abused him as well.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something. I mean, that's a two-way street either way. And, I mean, not to mention the timing is a little bit suspect, but I'll save it for when we get to that.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. It looks like we got the crowd in here. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys share. Hit that like button. All right, I need your help. Don't treat me like a baby mama. Don't treat me like that stray dog. Yeah, some of you guys love picking up stray dogs until you find out what a stray dog does. Yeah. Don't treat me like a stray dog. Treat me like that puppy you saved up money for. Yep, absolutely. The one that you like, take it over to your friends and they get jealous. Yeah, I'm that type of puppy. Absolutely. First one up here, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to speak about a developing story in Florida. A crazy story at that. It's about a man and his family. They were in Florida and they were eating, apparently, and, you know, some random, hard to say, random person came and shot and killed a person. Killed a man, a family man. And what happened next was the real bizarre part. I want to go ahead and run this story. When it comes back, I want to get your take on this. I want to know what you think, because a lot of people are talking, and let me tell you something. The right people aren't talking the right stuff. Here we go.
One person is in custody following a horrifying scene in South Beach. A man shot and killed while just eating at an Ocean Drive restaurant.
What a witness says that suspect did next was equally horrifying. CBS 4's Brooke Schaefer is live at the scene with more.
We're told that man was sitting here at this restaurant right here on Ocean Drive when another man, a stranger, walked up to him and shot him multiple times.
I didn't think it was real, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it ain't happening.
Another harrowing scene unfolding in the heart of South Beach.
He was sitting on the street, you know, it's like an outside restaurant.
A man sitting with his family in the outdoor section of this restaurant on Ocean Drive near 14th Street when Miami Beach police say he was shot multiple times and killed. What happened next, incredibly disturbing.
And to shoot him, he was dancing on top of the guy.
This man, who didn't want to be identified, said he saw 3 shots fired from about 2 feet away. Timothy Burgess says he saw the shooter fire another shot before the killing happened.
So I'm standing in the alley, and I see the guy, and he's like talking, whatever. He drops his backpack, and he pulls out a gun and shoots. And I'm thinking it's time to go. I'm like, hey, this guy's got a gun. And then I get over here, and he's on me. He's like chasing me around the car.
Completely unaware, moments later, that same man, who he says was chasing him, would shoot and kill a random man just moments later.
And did you hear that he went and shot someone at the restaurant?
No, I didn't know that.
An incredibly disturbing story. Police tell us that man was rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately that's where he died. This morning, police tell us they do have a suspect in custody. On South Beach, I'm Brooke Schaefer, CBS.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, what a story. Liberty Logan, what do you think about this here?
I mean, this one's hard, man, because like in the thumbnail, you see that guy's picture, and he looked like a young guy. So he was a young guy with a young family, a young father. He was a tourist, so they were on vacation, just trying to have some food, enjoy the day. And then out of nowhere, some crazy SOB just comes and kills him and then dances over his body. I mean, that's just unconscionable. There's really no way to put that politely what I want to say about that man that did that, but it's terrible. I mean, it's terrible, but I'm sad to say that I'm not shocked about it. It's where we're heading right now. It's where we're heading in this country. I mean, say mental illness, say whatever you want, but people are just going bat-ass crazy on everything, and human life is becoming devalued, and people hate each other. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing is heartbreaking.
It is. It's very heartbreaking. Liberty Logan, let me go ahead and tell everybody this. Man, white folks can't even go out and eat without Blackie running around and trying to kill them. You get what I'm saying, Liberty Logan?
I do.
Yeah, because had this been a black man eating with his family, and some random white person came up and did this demonic act. You'll go and kill a man, and then you dance on his body. Ladies and gentlemen, if that happened, you know what would happen? NAACP, you would get, CNN, you'll get LeBron James tweeting some nonsense. See, us black people, we under attack here. See, Liberty Logan, look, us black people, we under attack. We under attack. We can't even go and eat without white people coming after us. That's what would happen. But
and I mean,
once again, white people are silent. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, I will say, like, it is kind of hard to bring up that stigma, but you're absolutely right, because the fact that if this happened and the roles were reversed, I mean, this country would come to a grinding halt pretty much immediately. There would be protests in the streets. Shit would be on fire.
Through the roof.
Everything. I mean, Miami would burn to the ground if this happened. I mean, that restaurant would be out of business. People would be getting killed left and right because they were white. I mean, it's...
Yep. You
it's
know it.
BLM
would be there. He was a black man. He was a black man. He had a family. See, I can't believe they doing this to us. But yet, white Americans, they get killed by black folks daily. I have a very good friend by the name of Ken Givenden. He's a talk show host, and he also has his own platform where he only focuses on black on white crime. And let me tell you something. Daily, you will see nothing but murderous black Americans killing whites through the gosh darn roof. His site got so popular. Let me tell you, Google went after him. Facebook won't even allow him to post his site on Facebook. Because because it's that powerful. When you see how many folks are being killed, white Americans who are being killed daily through the roof, horrendous murders. Horrendous. It's outrageous. The way this narrative is in this country, it's absolutely wrong. They run around and act as if white Americans are out here killing black folks. They're looking for black people to kill. Let me tell black people something. White people don't even want to look at you. Let me tell you, they looking like this. They see black folks, they 10 steps away from you because they don't know what you're going to pull. Last words on this, Liberty.
Well, I mean, look, you're kind of right about that. And I mean, people can call me racist for it or whatever, but if I see what I would call a thugged out black dude walking down the street towards me and I'm by myself, yeah, I'm probably going to try to get away from it because I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if he's going to be listening to all this rhetoric that says I'm some dumb redneck because I'm wearing this hat all the time, and that he just wants to take out all of his anger on me one day and then I'm dead in a ditch. I mean, it's like what we were talking about last time. It's a mentality, and it's really the Democrats, BLM. They got the blood of this man on their hands because of this rhetoric that they've been pushing for so long, that white people are just out here trying to lynch every black dude that they've ever met in their lives for whatever reason. And because they have fed that into people for so long, then there's this huge reaction to something that doesn't exist. And it's sad to see that this young man lost his life, a young father lost his life because of it. And it's terrible, but it needs to change. But like you were saying, Facebook is never going to let it change. Google's never going to let it change. Nobody's going to ever let it change because they want us at each other's throats and they want this bloodshed.
Absolutely. And if you try to put out the truth, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to come after you. They'll shut you down. They only want the other side being shown, and they want it because they know that the people that they're trying to, make mad will do something. And you see it all the time, right? Liberal black Americans, they're the easiest to rile up and for them to go in the streets and destroy stuff. They destroy their own neighborhood. And they get mad when nobody wants to invest in their neighborhood. Ain't that a shocker?
That's weird.
Ain't that a shocker?
Yeah, I'm totally shocked by that. They get riled up over absolutely anything and everything, whether it's justified or not. It happened to a black dude. Like the one that was in North Carolina was a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Tried to hit cops with his car and got shot. What do you think's going to happen, man? I mean,
I'm telling you, and they only care because he's black. Let's go ahead and move on. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my girl, Kristen Warren. She took the $5 challenge. Shout out to her. Shout out to you. Moving forward here, brother, I want to go ahead and speak about it looks like another Me Too case. A lot of people are pointing this out. Ron Jeremy, all right? He's an adult film star. They call him the hedgehog of porn. This is what they say. This is what they say. Ron Jeremy has been around for a while. He's done cameos in films. I believe he's done over I think they say 100, 250 porn movies. Very, very ugly, man. I'm just pointing that out there. Apparently, he's in the news right now, and he's being indicted. He's charged with over 30 counts of sexual assault, which include rape to 21 victims. This is what they're saying, ranging from 15 to 51. Now, I'm telling you, and they're taking this back years. This looked like another Bill Cosby. Let me go ahead and run this. When it come back, I want to get your take on this. They're saying he got the same lawyers. What's his name? Harvey Weinstein. My God, he might got that Weinstein bread. We don't know. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button. Make sure you share.
Well, the San Fernando Valley, West Hollywood, Los Angeles, some of the locations where the alleged attack took place. We're talking about attacks that may go back as far as 25 years, Alex and Marla. Let's show you some videotape. These are the most recent images of Ron Jeremy, now 68 years old, born Ron Jeremy Hyatt in Queens, New York. He has been in custody for more than a year, has been in custody in court with masks on, with shields on during, of course, the COVID crisis. He was originally arrested back in 2020 on 4 counts of various sexual assaults. But after presenting the case to a grand jury, today the district attorney made a major announcement. Ron Jeremy has been indicted on 33 counts, among them rape and other sexual assault charges. One of the victims as young as 15 years old. And as I mentioned, these cases go back to the 1990s. He remains in jail without bail. His attorney refused to talk about this indictment, saying that he just got the transcript, doesn't know enough about it. But I did speak with well-known attorney Lisa Bloom, not connected with this case, for her analysis.
Every day, talk to my clients and talk to witnesses and high-profile sexual assault cases. Nobody wants to come forward. Everybody's scared. Everybody would rather just move on with their lives.
But yet a lot of women did come forward ultimately in this case.
Yes, but the few who do come forward are really doing a service to all the rest of us. Look at the women who just took down Governor Cuomo in New York. Because they are protecting the rest of us from a predator. Those who come forward and speak out and say, even though I don't like it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to testify, I'm going to stand together with other victims. They are protecting the rest of us from predators.
Now, Ron Jeremy has maintained his innocence of all of these allegations in the past. Again, his attorney not talking today. He remains in custody. And if he is convicted on even 1 or 2 of these charges, Alex and Marla, he's very likely looking at spending the rest of his life behind bars. Live in the San Fernando Valley, I'm Phil Schuman, Fox 11 News.
Ron Jeremy, he looked disabled. Look how big he is. He got a seriously bad comb over. He's overweight. Every time you see him, he's in some sort of chair that got wheels on it.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, they took this back to the 1990s, and then this bra said, well, you see all the women that took down Governor Cuomo, I mean, he was sexually assaulting them. He was touching their knee and their shoulder. What a bad man. What do you think about this here? Do you believe it? I mean, and if you do, gosh darn it, where is it going?
I mean, I honestly do not know, like, if I believe it or not. This is like one of those things where it's like, it's not like Ron Jeremy is like an upstanding citizen or anything like that. I mean, like, but at the same time, if he's falsely accused, he has all the rights that everybody else does, and it's one of those where you have to like kind of wait and see for the evidence. But like, I don't know, man. I mean, so he's a dude that looks like he would be a rapist to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get around
adult films. Yeah, but he's been doing adult films for like, he's famous for it. But then he's also raping people on the side. I mean, it's possible, but that is like a sex addiction or something that is just off the charts. I mean, the whole thing is confusing. I really don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ron Jeremy ain't nobody to be scared of. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. He's a man who's not that big, right? He's not like a very muscular guy. Yeah, you can look at him. He's slow. You mean that he's not a very good looking man? I mean, you mean to tell, man, ladies and gentlemen, that these women didn't know that they were sleeping with him, and they couldn't go and tell anybody? It blows my mind. That's why I say you have to start questioning a lot of the nonsense here. I mean, this man, I could understand if he was like, really big. He was a mafia boss and all. This man was nothing. I mean, the adult film star. Maybe his schlong made them scared. You get what I'm saying? Schlong been, whipped out some of the time. They scared. Last words.
It really, excuse me, that does have to be the only thing he has going for him, man. But I mean, it's like weird. So I'm kind of leaning toward he's innocent on this just a little bit because of the stuff that you did bring up and the fact that a guy that looks like that, like being an adult film star, you hit the lottery already. Why would you screw that up?
Yeah.
And 30 years ago, like, I'm always skeptical of that. Like, every time I hear somebody say, "Oh, he touched me back in 1990," and I'm talking about it right now, there's got to be a statute of limitations on
there. Has to be.
I mean, it's getting a little ridiculous because, I mean, if it did happen and you didn't come forward back then, I feel like you lost your chance. I mean, and I'm not saying that rapists should go free or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination.
No, you see how the liberals got us saying that type of crap. We shouldn't have to say that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying, Logan? We should not have to say that. You know what? We're not trying to say that rapists shouldn't be pursued. We shouldn't have to say that. But because we live in a PC world, right? Because most men are betas. They have pushed that out there, so we have to say that so we don't get the backlash. You get what I'm saying? But honestly, I mean, it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't.
No, it really doesn't.
And like I've been saying, this is a trait that a lot of women have. I mean, men don't do this. It's a jealousy trait. It's a trait that's wrapped with anger, hatred. You get what I'm saying? And it's a greed. You're only doing this for money and greed. I mean, I wish that a lot of men out there, right? They've been done wrong by a lot of women, right? Women act as if they're the only people who get abused. But if you look at the domestic violence rates, you will see that women are the number one abuser. They're the number one abuser of children through the roof. Women abuse children, but women ain't gonna speak about that, right? I know. No, you just keep the focus on the man. Women abuse men more than men abuse women. And I want women to understand that. Verbally with your mouth, right? And by hitting, right? Women say, stop that. Yeah, that's abuse right there. I want women to understand. I want you to understand that's abuse as well. And the thing is, they play this game to their advantage. Now, I'm not for Ron Jeremy. I don't care about him. I don't. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've said Ron Jeremy's name in probably 10, 15 years until I've seen this case. So I don't care about him, but I care about the truth. And a lot of what the truth is that we are in a whore culture, and whores get paid, and they know this. They know that there's no shame in their game. And somebody needs to shame these women for doing such a thing like this. I wish that I Hillary Clinton, or let's say I met a Kamala Harris, she just brushed up against me. I'd go run up to a cop. I'd make this a national story.
Right.
$100,000. Kamala Harris brushed up against my balls 6 years ago.
Right.
I need $100,000. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Last words, Logan. How come men don't do this? I'm sure men have been mistreated by a lot of women who are in powerful positions, right? How come they're not coming out of the woodworks and saying, you know what, this woman touched my balls. She brushed up against my butt. How come?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with pride and societal stigma. Like, society's going to see you as weak either way. Like, it's like the classic thing with, like, the teachers that were having sex with their students, like their high school students. And, I mean, they went to jail, don't get me wrong, but everyone, like, was looking at the high school student like, that's the luckiest guy in high school.
Yeah.
Like, where were these teachers when I was in high school and stuff like that? And, I mean, that's kind of neither here nor there, but it's just a weird societal stigma where men, like, we think that men can never be abused by women, and if it is a form of abuse, it has to be very, very obvious, very out in the open. But there's a battered man syndrome. Like, I mean, we've all seen it where there's just an overbearing woman with, like, kind of a skinnier, squirrelier guy that just runs all over him all the time. Roof. And I mean, it's such a trope that is in movies. It's such a trope that is in TV shows, and people just laugh at it. And it's a societal thing. And even if Kamala Harris did brush up against you and all that stuff and was very blatantly obvious about it, people wouldn't care.
They wouldn't.
They'd just be sitting back going, oh, well, whatever, you got your balls touched. Great.
Yeah, you better frame them. That's what some guys would say. That's how dumb the world is. But yeah, you accidentally brush up against her breast, all of a sudden it's a national story.
Oh, yeah, it's a national emergency if that happens. I mean, the NFL is going to have to wear pink socks for 6 months.
I'm telling you. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right? This type of nonsense, ladies and gentlemen, need to be pointed out. Liberals are the only people who play this game and act as if people ain't smart enough to pick up what's going on. And I'm letting you know, don't be like a liberal. Use common sense here. These women took too long. I'm telling you, too long. If we all did what these women would do, nobody would be in office. Nobody would have a job. Do you understand? And that's the way they do it. And the thing is, it really goes back to even relationships. Even when men and women break up, you know who's the first one to go out and say the other person, really bad, they mistreated me? It's always the female. The first thing she always says, right? Abuse, right? That's why I say women got to change up the playbook, right? Not all y'all been abused. My goodness, you get what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's impossible.
It's impossible. Also, you mean to tell me not one woman has done nothing wrong? That's the way women act.
Like, ever.
Yeah, you get what he did. Well, what do you do? Yeah, she would never say that. So I want people to be honest. That's it.
I want to know one thing about this, too, that I forgot to bring up, is who's accusing them? Because they might all be adult film stars themselves.
Probably. Probably.
In which case, then I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I would venture to say most of them are probably adult film stars. I would venture to say that. Yeah. That's why I say this is just nonsense through and through. It's another one of those Me Too hits. One of the industry chicks hate him. I hate him. He's so weaselly. I hate doing that scene with him. Every time I see him, he points that out. Right. I want him gone. You know how to. I'm telling you, one of the females got mad doing a scene with him. Really and everybody bring it up. Yeah, you the one who slept with Ron Jeremy. Yeah, I remember that. On your back 16. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you were the star on Your Back 16. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Ron Jeremy.
That's how you broke onto the scene. He made you famous, and now you're suing him.
Moving forward here, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Make sure you share. Help a brother out. We need your help. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to two folks here taking the $5 challenge. First one up here, my girl Sharon Tyler. Shout out to you. Sharon Tyler says, I understand no statute of limitation on murder, but these assaults over 30 years should have some conditions. I mean, and she's a woman. I mean, my goodness gracious, you would think so, right? Yeah, some conditions of limitation. And also, let me go ahead and give a shout out to another beautiful woman here. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my girl, Teresa Capone, took the $5 challenge. And, ladies and gentlemen, offering a 5 for 5. Absolutely. 5 for 5. So we're going to use yours, Teresa. Starting off, 5 for 5. 5 folks donate $5. That's her challenge. She started it off. We need 4 more. We can
4 more. Let's do it.
We can do it. Next one up here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Help us out. Help us out. I want to go ahead, brother, and speak about a developing story about a Christian school and a gay volleyball coach. Now, this Christian school is a very popular Christian school. They didn't know that they had a gay volleyball coach, all right? The volleyball coach was given 1 week to turn, quote, either turn straight in his heart, find the Lord, and get rid of Gay and Me magazine or to resign. And let me tell you something. This gay man, he started crying like his mama, and now he's in the news. Let me tell you. Let me go ahead and run this when it come back. I want to get your take on it. A lot of people are upset about this Christian school, giving this gay man the kaput. But me, I'm not mad at all. I think this is America. Gosh darn, you can do what you want. Let me go ahead and run it. Here we go. Make sure you share, ladies and gentlemen. Need your help.
They said I had 2 options. The first option was to denounce that I was gay.
Inoke Tonga is a Christian, a volleyball coach, and a gay man.
He said, basically my dreams of marrying another man would have to just stop.
It's his sexuality, he says, that caused him to lose his job at Valor Christian High School in Highlands Ranch.
He said we don't want to make it seem like we're trying to convert you into being a straight man, but we just want you to be a child of God.
On Thursday, he was pushed out, he says, told by the athletic leadership at Valor to stop being gay or abandon his role as the head coach for the boys' JV volleyball team.
I remember calling one of my best friends immediately after, just crying and telling her, I feel like it's a repeat of the 27 years of life where I hated myself.
He's not angry.
Anger, I've learned, especially, and I've taught this to my kids, it's such a valid emotion, but it's useless and worthless.
But now he says he has a mission.
I promised my kids and everybody that I would put myself in uncomfortable situations in order for them to feel comfortable.
We heard from parents too.
As a parent, I'm very disturbed by it.
This parent of a Valor student did not want her identity to be known.
If this can happen to a teacher, I'm afraid that there's some backlash that could go, towards my daughter.
She does want action.
I just want whoever was responsible for this decision to be removed from that school immediately.
Denver 7 reached out to Valor Christian as well. We didn't hear back on the phone, but we did get a statement from the school late tonight saying Valor became aware of a Facebook post by Coach Inoke that suggested he may not support Valor's beliefs pertaining to sexuality and marriage. The statement goes on to say that after a conversation with Inoke, he requested a separation from the school.
They told me, we'll give you a day, we'll give you a week, however long it takes for you to accept our help to be healed and come to become a child of God and denounce being gay.
Inoke says as a coach, And as a mentor, he will keep leading.
My main message was to just make sure I'm speaking out for those who are silent.
And loving, as his Christian faith has taught him to do.
I truly do love them and hope, especially as a Christian school, they did as Christ did in the Bible and left those who shun people and find those who were shunned in order to bring them back.
Sloan Dickey, Denver 7.
Wow. So there you go. They try to they try to put down Christians in this country. Let me tell you something. Don't let the gays sit there and wag their finger at you. This is absolutely outrageous. This school has every right for them to uphold the standards they see fit for the children they serve, especially for their parents. What do you think about this here first starting off? Do you believe that the school has a right to tell him, hey, you put down gay and me and you get right with the Lord, or you know, you do that stuff, you know, at a different school, you know? What do you think?
Well, number one, they absolutely have the right to do that. I mean, they're a Christian school, it's a private school. If it goes against their religion, which it does, some Christians are okay with it, some Christians aren't. Apparently the school wasn't. So yeah, absolutely they have the right to do that. That's not even a question to me. The whole thing with me is this guy knew it was a Christian school, applied to it. It said Highlands Ranch, Colorado, so it's definitely a higher end school. But it kind of has a very, like, kind of bake the cake or else vibe to me.
Yep.
Coming off of this. Like, I mean, I'm not like trying to put that on it because I don't really know much of the story, but it just has that feel because kind of what'd you expect? You know, like, why'd you apply to a Christian school?
There you go.
Any different school you wanted to go to.
The words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, and I mean, it did say in there that he was Christian himself, but then you should have known that this was a possibility, and now you're doing news stories. And the thing that really gets me is that parent that they had speaking on this whole thing, she doesn't necessarily bring up the fact that, oh, I think that they shouldn't have kicked him out because he was gay. She says that she's worried about a backlash from the left now that could possibly go after her kid that attends the school, because once they hear about this, there's more than likely going to be protests outside of that school.
There you go.
And she's more afraid of that than anything else. So, I mean, it's just...
Absolutely. You see how that mother hid her face, right? That mother hid her face, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, absolutely.
And the reason you're absolutely right, she hid her face because she know that there'll be backlash on her ass. I don't want my child to be ostracized. You know what? Maybe you and your child need to get out of that school. You're another infiltrator who does not really agree with the school. Why are you at the school? I just don't understand these folks. There's other schools that are out there. Take your ass to another institution. Yeah. I don't understand this. Why do you come to an institution that has their own standards and requirements already? You know it. And then you get into the institution and then you complain that, hey, well, you know, you guys are kicking me out because, you know, I don't agree with it. You already knew what it was. This is just absolute nonsense. These people are troublemakers. That's what they are. And I don't want anybody to, you know, feel, you know, that false compassion that they're trying to push here. I want to feel compassion for the Christians at this school, Logan. The ones who are getting blamed for being, you know, not accepting, somehow being, you know, gay phobes or whatever, homophobes, or whatever they want to do. You know, ladies and gentlemen, where's the compassion for the Christians? How come they don't feel bad about the Christians that this man came in as actually, you know, putting down their belief system? Last words.
No, and I totally agree. And I mean, how come nobody ever calls Muslims homophobes? Like, I mean, there are Muslim private schools all over the place. This guy wouldn't have gotten through the front door because he's not a devout Muslim believer. Most of them you have to be like strictly Sharia in some cases. So to say that they have that right but Christians don't, to me, number one, is ridiculous. Number two, they're just like, look, if you want us to, like, you know, work with you, because in Christianity, yes, being gay is a sin, and the entire point is, like, you can accept people for their sins, but they're supposed to be working on them. So they were saying, it's like, yes, if you want to work on this sin, then we'll work with you, which they didn't just like kick him right out the door. He's making it seem like, in a way that is like, you're forcing me not to be me. It's like, no, we're not forcing you not to be you. We're just saying these are the standards that we set through our faith. And in this school, it is a private school. And this is what we want to teach the kids at this school. You can go anywhere else and get a job, dude. You're going to be fine.
Absolutely. I mean, you could go to the regular teaching, public school. Go there. They love gay folks like yourself. I don't understand why you would try to force a Christian school to do this. And they always do this. It's the same thing with these single moms that have their children go to these Christian schools. And you know what happens, right? Their daughter get pregnant. Yep. And then all of a sudden, they say, the Christian school says, hey, we don't want this your daughter who's setting a bad example to stay at our school. You know what the mamas do? It's always a female. I can't believe you're telling me that my daughter's bad because she got pregnant. Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, we're telling you that. Yeah, she's a fast one, and we don't want the other children to see how fast your daughter is and catch on. We know how it works. You get what I'm saying? But the single mama, the bad parents, you know what they do? Oh my God, I'm gonna fight this. I'm gonna get my attorney. I'm gonna allow my pregnant daughter to sit there and influence the rest of the girls, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. You have to maintain a standard. If not, it will fall. Last words here, buddy.
Absolutely. And I mean, obviously, if it was a public institution, a public school, that would be completely different. But it's not. It's a private Christian school. You send your kids to the school specifically for that reason. And if you're not sending them to that school for that reason, then don't be surprised when they get kicked out for being a bad example. It's just plain and simple, man.
It's plain and simple, and Christians need to be strong about it. Don't allow these people to come in and bully you. They're straight up bullies and try to make you look bad. You turn it right back on them. You have to, because nobody's going to show you compassion. I want Christians to understand, nobody's going to show you compassion. You have to show yourself compassion. You have to. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. We need your help, ladies and gentlemen. We need your help. All right? You can see how bad the technocrats are. They hate us. You see, it's really hard for us to get the stream. And it's only because of the technocracy and the way they want to keep the information away from the masses. Hit the like button. Make sure you share. And if you can't, donate. Help us out, ladies and gentlemen. We need to pay our bills around here. Help us keep streaming and pushing out the content you guys love and deserve. Next one up here, brother. I want to go ahead and speak about Capitol Police officer who shot Ashley Babbitt. Mm-hmm. Now, he did a story with Lester Holt. All right, he did an interview, I should say, with Lester Holt. It has gone viral. A lot of people are upset. Let me tell you, I'm upset as well. I want to go ahead and run this story when it comes back. I want to get your take on it. This Capitol Police officer says that he shot an unarmed woman to save countless lives. This is what he said. Yeah. I kid you not. He shot an unarmed woman to save lives.
Yeah, she was such a threat to him.
Such a threat, let me tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you share. Here we go.
Were you afraid that day?
I was very afraid.
Are you afraid now? Going forward?
I am afraid because I know there's people that disagree with my actions on January the 6th. But I hope they understand I did my job. And there was imminent threats and danger to the members of Congress.
In the chaotic minutes before Lieutenant Michael Byrd shot and killed rioter Ashley Babbitt, a cascade of alarming messages crackled through his police radio.
He yells for help and, officer down and screaming as they're being assaulted.
This video from inside the House chamber captures Byrd instructing members of Congress to don gas masks.
Disbursement of tear gas in the rotunda.
Then, instructions to prepare for the worst.
I'd ask them to remove their pens, to remove their jackets, to look like staff as much as possible, and to seek shelter by staying down below their chairs.
Soon, a horde of demonstrators stormed up the stairs to the House chamber.
There's a gun! He's got a gun! He's got a gun!
Byrd is seen taking a defensive posture with his gun drawn.
I didn't even realize I had been yelling and screaming as loud as I was. Please stop, get back, stop.
We see your arm out there for a considerable amount of time.
Yes.
Were you wavering?
I was, again, taking a tactical stance. You're ultimately hoping that your commands will be complied with, and unfortunately they were not.
What did you think this individual was doing at that moment?
She was posing a threat to United States House of Representatives.
But an attorney for Ashley Babbitt's family disputes that. He did not respond to our request for a comment, but in a previous statement said Babbitt was not brandishing a weapon, not in close proximity to members of Congress, and was not an imminent threat of death or serious injury to anyone.
Based on your training, in that case, does it matter that the person was armed or not?
According to law, it does not.
Bow. So, Logan. I mean, my mind is blown, and this man was cleared of his actions. You know that, right?
Yeah.
He was cleared. So he shot an unarmed woman. An unarmed, let me go ahead and say this, an unarmed white woman. This black, let me rephrase it again. I love to rephrase. Thank you, left. Thank the leftists for this.
Mm-hmm.
A black Capitol police officer shot a white unarmed woman, and he says, she was, gonna do something. I don't know what she's gonna do, but she's gonna do something. What do you think?
Okay, first of all, why did he even do this interview? It doesn't make any sense. Like, why would he come out and say, yeah, I'm the guy that did that, and I feel like it's important to tell everybody because I'm the first cop in the past, 5 to 6 years that was in a shooting incident that didn't have the horrible disluxury of having my entire family history and my face plastered all over the entire internet and the news, so I'm just going to come out and say it now. That doesn't make any sense. Secondly, posing the threat, my ass. All right, I'm sorry for cussing, but
no, that's fine.
There were cops standing in front of her that you saw in the video. There were cops standing next to her. There was a SWAT team behind her. She wasn't the one knocking out the glass. There were guys knocking out the glass. He chose not to shoot them at all, and she just steps up to see what's going on, and he plugs her right in the neck, and he's going to sit there and say it's justified? That man is a real human POS. Like, he's a liar. Lieutenant. Yeah, he's definitely a liar. He was apparently a lieutenant in the Capitol Police. This would not have been justified anywhere else. He fired essentially into a crowd. There was officers standing behind her, so there was crossfire. He didn't have a threat. He had a target, but he didn't have a backstop. And by case law, there is no way he should have gotten let off by this. This was unconscionable. And then he has the balls to come out and do this interview with Lester Holt as if he's some sort of hero. This guy is worse than the guys that testified during the whole sham hearing that we just had to be subjugated to by Nancy Pelosi. It
is really bad. It is really bad.
Terrible.
A black Capitol police officer shot an unarmed white woman. If there was something called White Lives Matter, if there was a group like that, they'll be stomping in the streets. Ladies and gentlemen, you see how crazy the world is? I kid you not. If this was reversed, right, and let's say Trump won, and this happened, let me tell you something. That white Capitol police officer will be hung by his tippity toes, ladies and gentlemen. You better wake up. This is complete nonsense. This guy needs to be charged. He literally killed a woman for nothing. His training, he overreacted and he killed a woman for nothing. For absolutely nothing, ladies and gentlemen. He murdered that woman. And what kills me is that there's no remorse for it. He doesn't feel sad. Hey, you know what? I killed a veteran and a person who served honorably in the Air Force, right? She wasn't like a thug. You get what I'm saying? She wasn't a gosh darn vagrant, a streetwalker. She was a good human being. She served the country, ladies and gentlemen. She wanted to make sure her country was going the right direction. And it blows my mind now that it seems like the patriots, the people who love this country, the people who are willing to fight, the people who have laid their lives on the line for this country are being turned into criminals. It's such a shame. Last words.
No, you're absolutely right. We need more people like Ashley Babbitt, not less of them. And this guy robbed us of that. And he has the audacity to go on Lester Holt's show and do an interview saying she was posing a threat. None of your other officers that were standing on the other side of the glass thought that she was posing a threat.
There you go.
They didn't do anything. They seemed just like chill, like, well, they're breaking windows. I mean, but they're not hurting us. She wasn't assaulting any officers. She didn't have a weapon. She wasn't like brandishing anything through the window. If she got through the window, you could have probably taken her down without using a firearm because you weren't the only one in there. But no, you shot her in the freaking neck. You could have hit one of your other officers.
There you go.
This was like the worst shoot I've ever seen from an officer, other than just that one where the dude just blatantly shoots the guy when he's running away. But still, it's unconscionable that he had the audacity to go on Lester Holt and give all those statements saying that, oh, I was hearing things over the radio of other officers, oh, I was being attacked, oh, officer down, and all this. Not a single officer died during that riot. Not a single one. And he's still out here like he's some sort of hero for killing an unarmed woman. Arrest her, sure,
he should be embarrassed. Honestly, he needs to be embarrassed. You get what I'm saying? You killed an unarmed woman.
Yes.
She posed no threat. And the way this man is speaking, he's speaking as if she was some sort of bad person, some sort of burglar. You get what I'm saying? Some sort of criminal. She was none of these things.
Exactly.
None. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, the criminals who are running our country are turning good, decent Americans into criminals. That's what they're doing. Outrageous. Let me go ahead and give some folks a shout out here real quick, brother. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my girl Lauren Parsons. Lauren Parsons took the $5 challenge. I'm gonna give her one of these. Absolutely. And Lauren Parsons absolutely. And Lauren Parsons says here, let me pull this up here. She says, much love on behalf of Dixie George, and our girl Lori Gordon donated. Lori says, keep rocking and flying. Absolutely. So shout out to y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much. You see how much I'm sweating. I'm pretty sure Liberty Logan sweat. Liberty, you know, let me tell you something. Black folks like myself, we sweat a lot. I don't know if it was my ancestry, my genes coming from Africa. I heard they used to be slaves. You know what I'm saying?
Weird.
I know. Don't you love this show?
It's fun.
PC's real nice.
I love it. It's refreshing, man. You don't get this anywhere else. So if you guys haven't yet, definitely subscribe because you are not going to get this anywhere else.
I know. Next one up here, ladies and gentlemen. we are going to speak about Larry Elder. Larry Elder's in the news. Let me tell you something. Larry Elder, I think he's close to winning. I think he is, because the way they attacking him, let me tell you something, is real serious. They got to go and grab that ex-fiance, to take him down. Let me tell you, that's all they have. They don't got no baby mamas. They try to get them. Usually black men got baby mamas, right? So, they'll try to find a couple baby mamas to take down the brother. You get what I'm saying? They try to get, what was his name? He had a few baby mamas. Pizza Man. He was running for, but he died. What was his name?
Oh, the guy that had blackjack pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, what is the Godfather's pizza or whatever?
Or Godfather's. I think it was Godfather's. I think it was blackjack.
Ladies and gentlemen, what was his name? Black man died.
Yeah, this was
gosh
in the
darn it! Somebody know what I'm talking about. See what I'm talking about. I'm getting
it's on
old.
the tip of my tongue, man. I would have been able to say it.
Oh my goodness gracious! Somebody out there know what I'm talking about. His name starts with an H. He's black. Godfather. What'd you say?
Herman Cain.
There you go.
Yes.
Herman Cain. Absolutely. Herman Cain, baby mamas.
Yep.
When he was running, baby mamas and women were coming out the woodwork. Boy, the liberal left couldn't find enough baby mamas to try to take him down. And it wasn't working either. People were like, nope, we don't care about how many baby mamas he has. We still gonna vote for him. They were mad. They were. He didn't win, though, but let me tell you something. They tried.
They were really mad about that. They were like, what, this isn't working anymore?
I love Herman Cain. I don't care if he had 10 baby mamas. I'd vote for him. Gosh darn it. It'd be better than Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and run this here. His ex-fiance, Larry Elder's ex-fiance, has doubled down, and she has filed a police report of sexual abuse, and she details this over 6 years ago. So I want folks to understand. I don't know how you can even do this. Let me run it when it come back. I want to get your take on it. I'm still perplexed on the way these people do this. You just walk in there and you like, how does the lie go? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, hey, I know. Ain't no proof for nothing, right? I know this, but I'm telling you, I'm a woman. I have a vagina, and I'm letting you know, the vagina is supposed to make you dumb and ridiculous, and I'm letting you know somebody sexually abused me 6 years ago. I have no proof of nothing.
But I can't handle it because of my emotions. They have just ruined my life, and for 6 years, I had to stay silent, and I was just broken. I was broken the whole time.
These women are ridiculous. Here we go. Make sure you share.
Okay, we're just 19 days away from California's recall election. If it passes, Gavin Newsom will be removed from office, and whoever gets the most votes among the 40-plus candidates will become California's governor. As candidates campaign across the state, Governor Gavin Newsom's rally with Vice President Kamala Harris tomorrow in Daly City has been canceled. And now Larry Elder's ex-fiancée is doubling down on allegations she's made about his misconduct.
Larry Elder's ex-fiancée, Alexandra Datig, confirms to ABC 7 News that she's now filed a police report over an incident from 6 years ago when she says Elder brandished a loaded gun at her during an argument about their breakup.
He pulled a loaded gun out of a drawer in the middle of a discussion with me to try to intimidate me.
Datig also included a new allegation in her report. She says Elder pushed her in 2014 during what she calls a fit of drug-induced anger. The Los Angeles Police Department confirms they are aware of the accusations and say they are investigating. Earlier this month, Elder denied Datig's allegations in a series of tweets, saying, "I have never brandished a gun at anyone. It's not me, and everyone who knows me knows it's not me." Datig says this denial is what prompted her to report to police.
Domestic violence is a crime, and that applies to Larry Elder as much as it applies to everybody else.
You women
Elder, a conservative talk show host, is the front-runner candidate to replace Governor Gavin Newsom in the recall election. He's been drawing large crowds at campaign events across the state, and this week he picked up an unexpected endorsement from Democrat Gloria Romero, a former California legislator and longtime charter school proponent.
Yes, I'm a Democrat, but the recall of Newsom is not about political party. It's about Newsom.
Elder again declined to join his challengers for a debate last night. He says he will only debate if Newsom does. Still, he was a target. Former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer took aim at Elder for his position on women.
Larry Elder does not have the character, the judgment, the skill set, or the experience to be governor.
Faulconer is also airing a new campaign ad that goes after both Newsom and Elder at the same time.
California is in crisis, but we shouldn't just replace one dysfunctional governor with another.
At Wednesday's debate, Democrat Kevin Paffrath joined for the first time. He pitched himself as a fresh candidate with out-of-the-box ideas, including this one to battle the water crisis.
On day one, I will declare a state of emergency to begin the construction, as soon as feasibly possible, of a pipeline to the Mississippi River.
Polls continue to show the recall in a dead heat. In an effort to energize Democratic voters, Governor Newsom had planned to hold a rally with Vice President Kamala Harris tomorrow in Daly City, but it has now been canceled. A spokesperson for the Vice President says she is heading back to Washington, D.C.
And Vice President Harris's team has not explicitly said why the event was canceled, but of course we can presume it's because of the tragic events unfolding in Afghanistan. It has not been rescheduled. And every voter is getting a mail-in ballot for the recall election. Because of the pandemic, you only have until Monday to register to vote. After that, you can do what's called a conditional voter registration all the way up to Election Day, which is on Tuesday, September 14th.
There you go. So we got Larry Elder. Gosh darn it. What can we say about this? There's no proof of nothing. It's just her lips run. I don't even know how these women are able to do this. What cop took this down and made it a report? They need to be fired. What do you think about this? How can anybody just go into a police station? You know what I'm saying? Hey, I used to date this guy, 6 years ago. I know I have no proof at all. I'm a woman. Yeah, hold on. I'm a what? I have a vagina. I want you to know I'm not a tranny. I have a vagina. And so that means if I lie, you can't put me in trouble, right? Hold on. He touched me. Yeah, he did. I know I can't show you nothing, but he did. And then he opened up a drawer, and then he pulled out his gun, and he checked to see if there was any bullets in there, and he put it back. I mean, I think he did it for intimidation. That's abuse. I'm a woman, and that's abuse. What do you think?
It's just, talk about finding a low-rent Christine Blasey Ford. I mean, this is just unbelievably stupid. Oh, okay, so about 5 years ago, he brandished a gun at me when we were having an argument. Oh, and he pushed me a year before that, too. Investigate now. What are you going to investigate? I'm going to go to the house and see if Larry Elder had, his fingerprints were on his own gun at the time. I mean, what do you, unless there's a camera showing it, there's no investigation. I think the cop that took down the report was just appeasing her, because technically, I don't know if it's like this in every state, but I think technically if they want to file a report, you have to take it down and file it, which is why filing a false police report is a crime and should be punished way worse than it is right now. But I mean, just the story.
It's ridiculous.
In a drug-induced rage, he shoved me a little bit.
Drug-induced? What was he doing? Was he on cocaine? Was he on meth? What was it? She don't even tell ya. Drug-induced rage.
Drug-induced. Just drug-induced by something.
Who told her this to make up this lie?
Right? It's a bad script. They really brought out the B team on this one, man. It was terrible. I mean,
Connie Roberts says he called me names. Logan, he called me names. I'm telling you, these women are out of control.
Oh no.
Oh no.
He said the bad words to me just a little bit.
Larry Elder said, call me bad names. He said he didn't like my hair anymore. He said that my hair is not strawberry brown. It's dirty blonde. I hate him. I hate him for sure. He said, I can't cook. Larry Elder put him down. Ladies and gentlemen, that's abuse right there. Larry Elder said, I couldn't cook. I mean, this is nonsense. This is what women do, though. And the thing is, the media doesn't call out this stuff, right? And the women don't call out this stuff either. They'll sit by and allow these women to tarnish the reputation of most women, and most women aren't picking up on this. I wish they would, because these type of liberal women are overshadowing the good women that are in the world, that are in our country. And I want the good women to understand this. You know, guys got to be now very cautious about even dumping a girl. Because if you dump her, gosh darn it, if you up for some sort of important job, who knows? She could come back and make up a lie. You know, women are very dangerous folks. That's why I call them walking, talking domestic terrorists. Absolutely. You think I'm playing around. You walk, if you don't do what they say, they'll make up a lie. There's a whole bunch of them who do. When caught with that lie, they don't go to jail, right? They make up lies about men, about rape. When caught, they don't go to jail, right? Paternity fraud. When caught, don't go to jail. They'll kill their child. Bury it in the backyard, right? Brooke Schuyler, ladies and gentlemen, remember that? Buried the baby in the backyard. She got off. Don't go to jail. I'm letting folks know we have to be able to get a hold on a lot of the nonsense going on. Last words on this here, sir.
Well, I mean, you touched on it, and it is very important. Ladies in the chat, this is for you guys. You are the good women that need to start speaking out about this way more. And I'm not saying that you don't, but no one's going to listen to it coming from a guy. It's just not going to happen. So the good women, you need to speak out more. It is imperative that
That's
you
why
do
I say
so.
that.
Because right now, look, I'm 31. I'm a single guy, and I can tell you dating out here is a freaking minefield. It is ridiculous. Like, I am so jealous of guys like Jermaine or guys like my buddy Seth, like, that are married, that have found good women, because it's like right now it's like I'm afraid to even like go up to a girl in a bar and say hello without her yelling rape. I mean, it's like, it's ridiculous.
I'm telling you.
And good women need to start speaking up and showing that you are good women. I guarantee you, like, if you don't already, you will have guys lined up out the door, because we do not want to get with any of these exes. I mean, guys fall for it all the time. Larry Elder did. I mean, it's hard to tell, and you need to be vocal about it.
And she probably called herself a conservative too. I bet you she did. She probably called herself a Republican as well. I bet she did. That's why I didn't label this conservative Republican thing, because I know there's some quote-unquote conservative women who do this too. It's a female trait. And it needs to be put, you need to call it out. There's something that women do, and guys need to be abreast about it. If, guys did this, I'd call them out as well, but they don't do this. Guys do other dumb stuff. Let me tell you.
That is true. Yeah, we
guys
do
other dumb stuff, but this is what females do. So you have to be very careful about the women that you go out with and the women you piss off, because a scorned woman will ruin your life.
She will.
Yeah. Think I'm scorned? You ask a lot of men. A scorned woman will ruin your life. She will ruin everything you have. So you have to make sure you do well, do right, and keep yourself tight. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I need your help, ladies and gentlemen. I need your help. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my guy, Chris Paulin. Chris Paulin donated here. He says, you guys should do this every Friday. Absolutely, brother. We can. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and give a shout out. Absolutely. To the $5 time helping us pay our bills. Shout out to you. Moving forward here, brother, I want to go ahead and speak about the Taliban. The Taliban was on the news today, actually, on Sky News. And they spoke about what was going on in the Kabul airport, and they spoke about the troop withdrawal. They're giving the U.S. a warning. They're saying that if they're not out of Afghanistan by the 31st, right, and there's pointing Biden out because Biden said August 31st, right? Trump never puts out a date because that's kind of dumb, right? You're telling the enemy, your movements. That's, gosh darn it, that's leadership 101, I would think. But Biden, he didn't take that course. Biden said August 31st. The Taliban, gosh darn it, they're keeping him to his word. And they say, if, people don't leave, there's going to be some problems. I want to go ahead and run this when I come back. I want to get your take on this. The U.S. now has negotiated with terrorists. Remember the phrase, we shall never negotiate with terrorists, right? The U.S. doesn't negotiate with terrorists. Yes, they do.
Vaguely.
Yeah. Vaguely now because it's gone through the years. They do. They partner with terrorists. The U.S. does. They also help terrorists. They arm terrorists. Let me tell you something. We are bad. We are. Here we go.
Yeah.
With days to go until the deadline for troop withdrawal from Afghanistan, in the midst of a humanitarian crisis, the Taliban agreed to meet Sky News in Doha and issued this stark warning.
If the US or the UK wanted to extend the 31st of August deadline in order to continue evacuations out of the country, would you agree to that?
No.
Why not?
This is something you can say it's a red line. President Biden announced this agreement that until 31st of August they would withdraw all their military forces. So if they extend it, that means they are extending occupation. While there is no need for that, I think it will deteriorate the relation, will create mistrust between us. If they are intent on continuing the occupation, so it will provoke a reaction.
Let's talk about the situation at the airport. People are very afraid of what life may look like under your rule. People are prepared to leave everything behind. They're prepared to risk their lives to leave the country. What would be your message to them?
First, I assure you, it is not about their worry and not about their scare. This is about they want their demand to resettle in Western countries. And that is a kind of economic migration, because Afghanistan is a poor country and 70% of the people of Afghanistan are living under the line of poverty. So everyone wants to resettle in Western countries to have a prosperous life. So that is, it is not about scare. Of course, for their justification to go there, they exaggerate, scare and terrified and so. So we know the Afghans. This is our society. This is not the fact they are scared.
We're hearing reports of members of the Taliban going door to door looking for people like journalists, like members of the judiciary, former government workers. We're hearing that girls' schools have been closed in some provinces. What are you doing about that?
All fake reports. If anyone is, as you say, and we investigate every incident, who is going door to door, he himself will be prosecuted and tried and punished, because that is a violation of our policy. But I can assure you, there are many reports by our opponents claiming what is not based on realities.
And as we now approach the date for American, British, foreign forces, soldiers to leave Afghanistan, what would you say to the families of those who died trying to help Afghanistan?
I first of all say they occupied our country. If we occupy your country, what you will say to me?
America, this is what you get.
I killed your people,
what you get
in your country, what you will say. I think our people suffered a lot, bloodshed, destruction, everything. But we say the past is the past story, a part of our past history. Now we want to focus on future.
Wow. So I'm thinking if we send, maybe a few thousand goats over there, you know what I'm saying? They like goat meat. You get what I'm saying? Ain't no wrong with some goats. You get what I'm saying? A few thousand goats, IOU on the virgins. We extend that date a little bit. You get what I'm saying? What do you think here, brother? You heard what he said about the Americans who died. He don't give a rip. He's saying that America has occupied their country. Absolutely, America has. And America better listen up, because I'm telling you, Afghanis don't care. They don't care about us. What do you think?
Well, I mean, number one, like I remember the time when the Taliban was making these exact same threats and everybody laughed at them because they're 8th century barbarians wearing sandals and humping goats. But now you got this guy that's been paying attention to the Democrats and to the Chinese propagandists for so long that you can't tell the difference between him and Nancy Pelosi or him and Xi Jinping. And it's the exact same stuff. I mean, the whole dumb argument that, they're not fleeing because they're afraid of us. They just want a better life in the West because we are a poor country and all this. This is something that a lot of Americans don't know. The Afghan National Army did a lot of the fighting in this war, especially for the last 5 to 10 years. They were getting airstrikes from Americans because that's how they were taught to fight. You guys do the ground fighting, and you call in airstrikes or artillery, and we'll do it for you. And they lost a lot of lives doing that. And part of this pullout was they gutted all of that and took it from them like that. So that's why they got ran over so quick, is because they didn't have the infrastructure they had before. A lot of them did turn and run because they didn't have that infrastructure, but it's kind of neither here nor there. Afghans were willing to fight with our help, and we completely abandoned them. But the Taliban, to sit there and say, it's just like an economic thing and no people from Afghanistan were fighting against them, is absolutely not true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just objectively ridiculous to say that. And I mean, they just had the bomb go off, killed 13 of our service members, and I believe 140 of their civilians. Now, they say that's ISIS-K and it's not the Taliban. I don't give a crap. Same people.
Same
people. And I mean, it is infuriating to watch this guy go on there with that smug ass face and just say these things like,
absolutely,
we're all just gonna believe him. It hurts. It hurts to watch.
It hurts to watch. He's sitting there, look like $1 million beard. Let me go ahead and show the crowd. I want folks to understand something here, and he was very honest in his statement here. I can tell by the way he talked. He has no reason to sit here and play games. He was very honest with a couple of statements. He was telling a lie on some other ones. When they had reports of Afghan Taliban members going door to door to check to see about Americans and stuff like that. Yeah, they were. Absolutely. He's not going to tell the truth about that. They're not going to tell the truth about that. Ladies and gentlemen, these folks can give a rip about Americans, and I want folks to understand. That's why I said when you go into other countries, you're not going to be seen as the hero. Right? All that is propaganda coming from the military-industrial complex. Do you understand? It's propaganda. If aliens came here, right, and somebody said, you know what, the world is so bad. Look at the Luciferians treating all the Americans so bad, and they came here as an occupied force here in our country. As bad as our government is, guess what? There will be people against the aliens. Do you understand?
Yep.
It's
Absolutely.
quite simple, right? Even though we don't like parts of our government, right? Even though our government is corrupt, that don't mean that we want another occupying force that we don't know, who's talking about giving us better, quote-unquote, democracy, right? That don't mean that we want that. We don't want our country torn up. And a lot of folks need to understand that. So when we went to Afghanistan, the military-industrial complex ran propaganda so that can ease Americans' feelings, right, their heart, about doing something that wasn't good to begin with. And I want folks to understand, when you go to and invade other countries, because that's what we did, you take over the country, you annex. Do you want to, and look up the word annex. You annex the country. You make it a part of your own country. Do you understand? That's what you do. You don't go there as a occupying force and just hold there for 20 years and with this story about terrorism, right? As if that's the only place that has terrorism in that region. What about Lebanon?
What about Iran?
Yeah, what about Iran, right?
Pakistan harbored Osama bin Laden.
Kazakhstan. We can go on and on. Look at how many countries just named. That's why I'm telling folks, you got to start using common sense. We went there because we were finessed by the cabal folks. They went there to grab resources, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the resources over there. And now they're done with it. They're done. And it looks like, in my eyes, a transfer of power. But they're not going to tell you this. They're not. So this man, he made a very powerful statement here when he spoke, when she asked about if they cared about American lives. We spent decades over there, trillions of dollars, and these people could give a rep. He didn't even have any compassion, nothing. No. He said, you guys were occupying our country. How cold and callous of an assessment is that? Last words.
Well, I mean, I will say I do disagree just a teeny bit with you on this whole thing.
I know you're going to.
Yeah, because, no, I do definitely agree that of the analogy you had with the aliens, that's definitely true. I mean, a lot of people did see us as an occupying force because that's technically exactly what was going on. But there were a lot of people that fought with us that did want some form of democracy. But honestly, I do not think it was the majority of the country. Now, when we went into, let's say, Korea, the difference between North and South Korea right now is literally night and day.
Yep.
And a lot of the Koreans did want our help, so I think that was a good
the
mission.
Majority of the Koreans at that time wanted our help. That's
our help.
Whole difference. They actually wanted us there to help. We weren't there to occupy their country. Mm-hmm. We were there to help them fight. Because guess what? They wanted to fight. We didn't go there and say, here, we're going to build up your military and build up your... They already had a military. They needed reinforcements and help. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, you're totally right. And that's exactly why. And that's why we still have a presence there now, is because we were backing up an ally. And South Korea is a great ally of ours. Do I think Afghanistan could have ever really turned into that? I don't think so. Then again, I was never on the ground. There are some veterans I've talked to that disagree with me on that as well. But it was just time. It wasn't working. Okay, I mean, plain and simple, it just wasn't working. That's not saying the Taliban is good. That's not saying that I like them coming in and taking over the entire country. We need to get the people that helped us and fought with us out. We need to get their families out, and that's it. If you didn't fight with us, you didn't help us, you're done, dude. Sorry. Yep. You didn't even work towards it. And Afghan National Army guys that just ran away, look, I mean, as I said earlier, they were trained to fight a very specific way, but at the same time, when that was gutted, they still could have stood there and shot back, and some of them did, to their credit. But obviously not enough because they took over the entire country within a week.
Absolutely.
So
they took over. They were calling breakneck speed. I didn't see it as breakneck speed. I saw it as a transfer of power because
it could have been.
Yeah, because the way it is, they left the guns all out. I was showing videos of them walking in the side. Look, it's almost as if it was red carpet on the guns. You get what I'm saying? They were all laid out. There were all the gear was left over. I mean, you don't do this in a withdrawal. You destroy if you can bring the material with you. Yeah. Right? You destroy
Take it with you or blow it up.
They didn't do that. And then on top of that, they're not even telling you that a week before this whole ordeal went off, the whole withdrawal, there was a prison there. And I think, did you hear about there was a prison break?
Yep.
Thousands of quote unquote, as they call it, terrorists, right? Terroristas broke out of prison there, ladies and gentlemen. So instead of us to bomb the hell out of those prisons, right? The terrorist prisons that are over there, we left them. The Taliban, one of them, they broke out. The other one, the Taliban took control and they let everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
And this was before the withdrawal. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's not even to me, it's not even a screw up. It's it was meant to be, in a sense. Now, I want to go ahead here, brother. I want to go ahead and run this story here because a lot of people are speaking about it. And it's about the Afghan refugees coming here to America, all right? They're going all over this country. It looks like to me that they're changing a lot of the demographics here, and they are using Christian ministries. Now, I want to get your take on this here because I believe a lot of Christians are being hoodwinked, right? Being finessed, a.k.a. being tricked, for folks who don't know that word, into bringing Afghan Christians here under the guise of them only being Christian. I want to go ahead and run it. When it comes back, I want to get your take on it. Here we go. Make sure you guys share.
Officials say up to 1,500 Americans, including college students from California, remain stranded in Afghanistan. With less than a week until the withdrawal deadline, local agencies are preparing to house Afghan refugees right here in Jacksonville. White House officials said today about 12,000 evacuees landed in Washington, D.C. over the past 24 hours. Tarek is joining us now. Tarek, do we know how many refugees are coming here to Jacksonville?
Well, dozens are en route to Jacksonville, though the exact number is not known. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says the U.S. doesn't know the exact number of Americans remaining in Afghanistan because some of them entered the country without registering with the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. White House officials say roughly 88,000 people have been evacuated from Afghanistan since the Taliban took control. But at least 10,000 more are waiting to get out of the country before August 31st. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby announcing today there has not been an American casualty.
There have been no U.S. troops killed since the 14th, and we only know of one minor injury. I know of no American citizens who have been killed on this, so I don't know of any. Now, and we don't have perfect visibility into everything going on in Kabul, but we know of no American casualties.
At least 150 of the refugees waiting to be evacuated from Afghanistan will be coming to Jacksonville. Catholic Christian Ministry Associate Director Matt Schmidt says they'll arrive as early as September the 1st.
These people in Afghanistan are fleeing the country for fear of their lives, for fear of their persecution and for lack of freedoms that we all so much enjoy here in the United States.
Schmidt says Catholic Christian Ministries will first try to find a United States tie to the refugee family, someone who can assist their staff in offering them houses or other local resources. The resettlement process is expected to last somewhere between 30 to 90 days. If the family doesn't have a tie to the U.S., they still receive the same services from the federally funded program.
We register them for Social Security benefits. We help them get into their first apartment. And part of the Catholic Charities Jacksonville process for refugee resettlement is that we set up their first apartment. One thing we have as part of the program is we receive donated furniture in like new or gently used condition, and we outfit their first apartment with furniture, home goods.
Schmidt says they'll also find evacuees employment and also help them learn English. The U.S. as a whole is anticipating the arrival of 50,000 total Afghan evacuees. Afghan evacuees have also been arriving at military bases in New Jersey and Wisconsin and the state of Texas and Virginia, where the military is providing temporary housing, basic needs, and transportation for them.
Bow. So the Afghanis, the ones that were walking in the sand and the dust, right, can now walk in a brand new apartment furnished by Catholic Charities, baby. A brand new apartment. Nice furniture, gosh darn it, a stipend from the government, you know, beautiful living. Imagine sleeping on the sand. and then waking up to the taxpayers of America. Beautiful, baby. What do you think about this here? Do you think that a lot of these faith-based charities, right? These Christian organizations that seem only to care about if they're Christian, they don't care about the person per se. Hey, are you a Christian? Is your left shoe a Christian? Come on here. What do you think?
First of all, how the hell do they know they're Christian?
That's what I'm saying.
They just
gosh darn it.
Really? They're just like, oh yeah, on the plane. Yeah, I'm a Christian. Whatever. Let me on the plane. I'm a Christian. Let's go. And I mean, somebody brought it up in the chat, but yeah, when I was looking at the planes leaving Kabul airport, it was mostly military-aged men there.
Yup, there you go.
So if you're working with a family, they're a Christian, they've been persecuted, and you're a Christian charity, bring them over. Okay, that makes total sense. But just carte blanche to how many thousands of refugees, and you're setting them up with a place, you're setting them up with their first apartment, probably helping them get a job, completely furnished, all this stuff. I mean, yeah, it's very Christianly of you, don't get me wrong, but are you vetting any of these people at all to be sure that, number one, are they actually Christian? Not that that should necessarily matter, but did they help us against the Taliban? Were they actively fighting against these guys? Or are they people that were just sitting back saying, oh, I guess I'll just see which way this goes? You know what I mean? Because the people that were just sitting back going, oh, let's just see which way this goes, they don't deserve to come here and then have a fully furnished apartment and be completely taken care of. Your country sucks. You didn't fight for it.
You didn't fight
do
for
anything.
it. Absolutely.
You didn't do a damn thing. I don't want you to come here and then on my tax, it's a Christian charity, so I guess not on my tax dollars, but still, to have somebody set you up with an apartment.
Yeah, it will be with our tax dollars because all they're doing is they're taking a brunt of the cost with the setup. They're still going to get a stipend from the government. The government's still going to get them bread. The bread going to come. Trust me, the bread coming. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Catholic charity ain't got that much bread, let me tell you. But the bread coming. And the bread coming from the government, and I want people to understand this. I think it's so evil for Catholic charities or any of these faith-based organizations to do this because they're destroying our country and they don't even know it. I don't care if they claim to be Christian. People need to start pointing this nonsense out. A lot of these faith-based organizations brought in these Somalian refugees, right? They claimed that they were Christian. I want people to understand when they came here, guess who they voted for? People like Ilhan Omar. You know who they voted for? They voted for the Democratic Party. Somehow they believe that bringing these folks over who claim to be Christian, somehow they're going to do us a service. No, they're not. Most of them are going to vote for the Democratic Party. And I want people to understand this. They're going to vote with Satan's party, right? The people who hate traditional America. I want people to understand this. The liberal left puts down white people, right? They gonna vote for them, right? They say, well, these white people are idiots here. They put their own selves down. They put their own country down, right? They uplift black criminals, right? People like myself who have a crazy view, and I know I have a crazy view, right? We chop off people's heads, right? I'll kill my wife right now. Right, I know. They allow me. They allow me to put a foothold in this country. So we shall vote for them, and I want people to understand. So all these faith-based organizations, good Christians, Republican Party, conservatives need to stand up and start pointing their finger at them. Because they're going to run that Christian game on you. Hey, this is all about being Christian here, right? All that being Christian stuff ends up destroying your country, destroying your organization. Now, I can give you a very good example right here. United Methodist Church, right, in this country. United Methodist Church, ladies and gentlemen, got broken up into two factions now because they allowed gay preachers, gay folks into their church, right? And after a while, the traditional folks got upset. They got mad. And instead of them to, revert back, you know what they had to do? They had to separate the church. I did a big story on it last year. Ask the crowd. Go ahead and look it up. United Methodist Church here in this country, right? The big one that is in a lot of states, probably every state of this union.
I've definitely seen them, like all over.
I'm letting you know that's what happens if you don't stand up, and they're right now dealing with it. So we have to get past, ladies and gentlemen, people being finessed by saying, hey, this is a good Christian thing to do. Because the good Christian thing to do would be, ladies and gentlemen, to help our own. We have homeless vets that are sitting in the streets right now. You get what I'm saying?
That's
we
exactly
got
the point I was
homeless
gonna bring
vets
up.
who have fought for our country. And yet these folks who claim they're Christian are looking outside of your own home. There's people in your home who are suffering. And they go outside of the home to bring folks in. That ain't Christian. That's a fraud. Last words, brother.
That's exactly what I wanted to bring up, and I'm so glad you did, because I didn't see any of these Christian charities doing dick for our homeless veterans.
Nothing.
They didn't give them an apartment. They didn't fully furnish it. They didn't try to help them out with a job. They didn't give them counseling for PTSD, going over there and fighting for them. But they'll bring in all these refugees that just claim that they're Christian and I mean, maybe they are, but they're Christians before the Reformation happened.
I don't care if they're Christian.
But still, stay in your own country and fight for it. I mean, I don't know why this is such a foreign thing, a foreign concept to everyone in the Middle East, except for the Taliban. They seem to have that down pretty damn good. But a foreign concept for all the good Christians over in that country to stay and fight for it and help their own people. That's what you're supposed to do. And yes, you're going to get persecuted.
Absolutely.
Sorry. Jesus got persecuted. Christians going on mission trips to Africa got persecuted a lot and died. But it's your own country. If you want to change it, you have to fight for it. And us bringing a whole bunch of military-aged pansies that don't want to fight for themselves over there isn't going to do anything to help Afghanistan. It isn't going to do anything to help us. It's just going to do something to hurt both countries. And it doesn't make any sense. Nobody ever looks at the long run. It's always this bleeding heart. We have to do it constantly. We have to be the most humanitarian people on the planet. Otherwise, we're just terrible people. And we don't want anybody to call us terrible people or xenophobic. So we're going to hurt ourselves. We're going to hurt other countries, and we'll do whatever it takes not to be called that. And we'll never think anything through. We'll never plan it out. All we'll do is hurt everybody around us, including ourselves, so nobody thinks that we're bad people.
Absolutely. Shout out to Roxanne Ekman. She said, where are they finding all this housing at? You know where they finding it at? They kicking out Section 8 folks. Remember I told you they're building all these new developments and they're using it as Section 8? That's exactly what's going to happen. People better be abreast about this. And for somebody putting out, well, Jermaine, they're Christian. I don't care if they're Christian. Do you understand, man? I don't care. Let me say this again. I don't care. I don't care. Our country is going to hell by, quote unquote, people who call themselves Christians. Do you understand? People on the liberal left, a whole bunch of them call themselves Christians. You know what they're doing? They're destroying our country. The man who's running the country, who, quote unquote, they say is running the country. Don't they call him a Christian? Liberal Logan, don't they call him a Christian? Ain't he a Christian? Yeah.
Apparently he's a Christian. Apparently Kamala's a Christian. Apparently his wife's a Christian. Apparently Kamala's... Is she even married? Her husband.
Obama, they call Obama a Christian. Hurt my heart.
And then they yell at Trump for holding the Bible, but everybody's Christian. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's become a trope to them. It's just something that they don't know what it means. I honestly believe they have no idea what it means. They're just saying it because it's popular.
Yeah.
And they have no idea what the actual tenets are. They don't follow the tenets. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the most devout believer ever. I consider myself a Christian, but I don't go to church. It's just my thing. I don't trust human beings, so I don't want to trust them with my faith in God.
They'll put a tranny as a pastor and then tell you if you don't agree with the tranny is saying, you're not a good Christian.
Yeah. And some of them are just unbelievably strict, like, oh, if you had like you eat pork on Sunday or something, which is an old Catholic thing. I don't even know why Christians do that, but I don't know. So that's just my view on faith, and I mean, to each their own. But I consider myself a Christian. I'm not really a devout believer, and I'll just never. I don't ever see myself going to church unless I find one that I really like. But it's different. I mean, for somebody in the Middle East, especially in Afghanistan, where you're surrounded by essentially 8th century crusade fighting Muslims.
Absolutely.
Being a Christian means something very different. They're probably the Christians that were the type of Christians before the Reformation that have way stricter rules on that than you would, that do not have the same liberal ideas of Christianity that you do. And they're going to come here and bring that 8th century crap over here. Now, I still maintain that the ones that helped us out, that actually did help us fight, the translators, those guys, and
those
Christians
folks,
that were on a
they
mission,
can come
bring them
over.
over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bring them. But if you didn't help fight, you just sat back and watched, you don't deserve anything from us.
Absolutely. If you sat back in your country and all you did was, you ate goat meat and you saw folks fight, right? And then all of a sudden now you don't want to deal with the Taliban because in the West you'll probably have a better life. So you say, hey, I'm being persecuted. Look at all this sand around me. They put me in sand around here. Listen, I need to leave. I'm being persecuted, baby. I know. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, the world is filled with crazy animals. Don't you be one, all right? Don't you be one.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Agreed. So, Liberty Logan, my goodness gracious, buddy, let me tell you something. What a show. We are at the end. I want to thank you so much, buddy, for hanging out with me. We spoke about a lot, let me tell you. We absolutely did. I know we pissed off some folks, which is absolutely A-okay with me.
I tend to do that.
A-okay. One thing I want to say here is that we have a lot of folks who are still finessed by emotions. They're finessed by titles. And I'm telling people, you got to start waking up. This new refugee program that they're putting together in bringing, 60 to 80,000, ladies and gentlemen, 60 to 80,000 refugees into this country. That's a lot of Afghanis, okay? People who will not assimilate into our culture, but they will integrate, okay? That means that they will retain their own language, the way that they do things, right? They don't want to do the American way of life. Right, they'll participate in certain aspects, but truly they don't give a rep. Do you understand?
No. Oh yeah.
We need to be able to be honest with ourselves and what we want as a nation. To me, is a dumb move for us to be importing the world's brokest, poorest folks, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's let me tell you, the worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is to fill your country with poor folks. And the reason why I tell you that is because if you're an elitist and you have a country filled with immigrants, which they always say, hey, America's filled with immigrants. Absolutely. You're looking for workers. Do you understand? And that's exactly what America has really became. Filled with immigrants. The wages have been stagnated, right? And people, ladies and gentlemen, are having a harder time of paying for things and maintaining their standard of living. We have to wake up before our dream about a good America is gone. Any last words, Liberty Logan, before we depart on my ending monologue here?
No, man, I got to say, I definitely agree. It was really fun. Again, thank you so much for having me back on, man. It's always a great time with you, and I hope I can come back on again soon. But I do want to say, watch how many of those immigrants go exactly to places like Dearborn, Michigan, or to Portland, Oregon, because Oregon, their governor's already come out begging about it. And I understand you don't want to leave the ones behind that actually fought with us, but the ones that didn't fight with us over there for their own country, bringing them here is not going to be a justice to them. It's not going to be a justice to us. If they didn't like the Taliban, they should have fought with us and destroyed them. We should have also been more clear about our message when we were fighting the Taliban and destroyed them if we wanted to, because we could have. But this whole Vietnam-esque kind of prancing around, I don't want to kind of go into this country, but we'll attack them over here. If we're going to go to war, you identify the enemy, you destroy the enemy wherever they are. If that was the Taliban and we actually did that, they wouldn't exist right now. It would not have taken 20 years. There would have been civilian casualties, but it would have been over. Now that country is going right back to where it was. Women are going to be raped. They will not be allowed to go to school. They will not be allowed to be out of the house. If they get raped, they will have to have 5 men tell everybody else that they were raped.
Or something like that.
It's so ridiculous that it's hard for me to even say. So if we want to do this humanitarian bullcrap, then we actually have to understand what it is, and we have to stop being such wusses about it. But thank you so much for having me on again, man. I had a great time.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on in here. Let's do this next Friday. Next Friday we shall do so. All right. The crowd absolutely loves you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming on in here, hanging out with me and Mr. Liberty Logan. I'll be on tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central. As you guys know, we have our Saturday weekend Rumble Raw. So, I get a little bit of uncut. I let down my hair. If I had hair, I would, my mouth becomes a little bit more loose. You know what I'm saying? And I get it in, So Saturdays, make sure you come hang out with me. If you're drinking on some cognac early in the morning, a mimosa, take a sip for me. If you're blowing on your stogie, take a sip for me. And hang out with me, all right? I'll be ready, up, and flaming these liberals to high heaven. That's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys take care. Have a very, very good night. And I'll catch you guys here later with another edition of Conservative Nation. You guys take care. Love ya. And good night.